Good evening, my Trues Clues aficionados. I hope you all are doing well out there today. It's a beautiful day out here. Spring is springing, and I love it. I had an interesting case that I wanted to discuss with you all, bring to your attention. It took place in China. It's been a minute or two now, but the trial just ended and the perpetrator was sentenced to death. And that cannot be surprising that it took place in China. But the victim was a billionaire that helped bring the Game of Thrones games to life. And, he became quite substantially rich after that. And he had always had this dream about bringing this popular Chinese trilogy and adaptation and bringing it out to the rest of the world so they could hear about it and, he could become famous for getting this beautiful piece of information out there to the rest of the world. And so he did work on it. He was working on it as early as 2014. And it's in the same kind of league that Star Wars would be. It was kind of a sci-fi fiction. And if you know anime, and even back in the day, I used to watch a lot of sci-fi fiction that came out of the Asian community. And it was always interesting. So he was working hard to achieve this dream. He was also employed by another company at this time. And this company, I mean, he was making like buku amount of money, which of course, because he came up with these wonderful ideas that were, I mean, if he was making that much money, you can only imagine the money that the company was making with him turning over his creativity to them. Because once you turn it over to the company again, it no longer belongs to you. They pay you your stipend or your money or whatever, and then you move on without it. So, he was really working hard on bringing this dream to fruition. And then one day, him and the owner of the company that he worked for came to heads over something that was never released about what it was, but the owner of the company decided, hey, I've had it with you, we're going to get rid of you or whatever. So I don't know. After the falling out, it says Zhao Yao gifted Lin a bottle of what he said were probiotic pills, but which actually contained a cocktail of lethal toxins which he bought off the dark web, huh? That dark web, it comes in so darn handy when you need it. You just need to kill somebody, you can find anything that you need right there on the web. Media reports of the meticulously planned expiration of a human being have gripped China, where it has drawn comparisons online to the American crime drama Breaking Bad. According to Chinese media outlets, it involved the mixing and testing of more than 100 poisons in a makeshift suburban lab, I guess to get it right. Zhu was sentenced to expiration for expiring a human being by the court in Shanghai on March 22nd, the day after the much anticipated debut of the Three Body Problem on Netflix. So, good afternoon, my Trues Clues aficionados. I hope you all are doing well out there, taking care of yourself. Cha-Cha and I, she's always with me, are just here taking my day off, enjoying the weather. It is getting to be springtime. I'm so happy about that. I'm also happy about celebrating my birthday month. Hopefully, I get to give away some gifts. That's the best thing I like to do is to give. So I am here to provide you with the second clue in the Trues Clues contest. And this clue is, when did it happen? It happened in the mid decades. The man of the year that year was somebody who had something to do with AIDS and the AIDS, solving the problem of the AIDS epidemic. He was named as, I think his name was Ho. And also during that same time period, except for in 1776, George Washington crossed the Delaware. The only other thing that happened in that decade was this crime. on that year. It was the most popular thing that had populated through the world. And another clue would be that a big homeboy, another clue would be that a big homeboy, a big lover of the state, actually made his career off of the state and the beauty of the state. Good old John Denver. And that would be another clue. There was a series that I did on this particular victim because it hits very close to my heart, as it does to most people. As I said, it was known worldwide. The scene or the episode that I'm referring to would be, instead of the ho ho train time period that it took place in, I called it the cho mo ho train. So there's another clue there. I think those are the strongest clues that I can give you towards looking towards that information. Again, there was a family member that was strongly implicated in this crime. That I don't know if they were ever cleared or not, actually, at this point in time, but he also is following up on this crime, wanting it to be solved as well. Okay, guys, I'll see you for episode number 3. Love you all. Take care. On a winter evening in 2020, Lin was driving home from his Yuzu Games headquarters in Shanghai when he suddenly felt unwell. He checked himself into the hospital and initially recovered, which poisons often do that, to a stable condition, but ended up dying 10 days later on Christmas Day, according to his company. There were at least 5 toxins detected in Lin's body, including mercury, tetrodontoxin, an extremely potent poison found in puffer fish. Chinese financial magazine Calclin reported, citing people close to the video game tycoon. Zhu was identified as a key suspect and swiftly was detained, according to a police statement at the time. In its ruling last month, the Shanghai court said Zhu had a dispute with Lin over the company management matters and plotted to poison his boss through edible items over 2 days. Zhu also poisoned beverages in the offices of the 2 executives he had dispute with, causing 4 colleagues to fall sick. The 4 survived. Unfortunately, the other one did not. In the months following Lin's death, Chinese media outlets pieced together a more detailed and a more chilling account of the murder, which involved meticulous planning that lasted months. So he came up with a Game of Thrones game, but then he was kind of like living the Game of Thrones live too. You know what I'm saying? This is like, you know, da da da, FBI 007 kind of stuff. The falling out. The Shanghai court did not give details on the rift that happened between Zhu and Lin, but according to the media reports, sources of the company, it revolved around Lin's ambition to adapt the 3-body problem. Lin had long wanted to develop it into a global cultural franchise, but the rights of adaptations of the books were held by a Chinese couple who had bought them in 2009. I don't know what bearing that has on the expiration of this individual, but maybe it does. So, Zhu successfully secured the rights for the adaptation. Aha, there it is, because all that money became involved. Once you got Netflix up in it, you know you're going to stand to make some money because they don't take a chance on nobody unless they're going to get some pocket value out of it. When Netflix announced the adaptation project, Yuzu staff cost Lin, whatever that word is, the Netflix deal was struck by Lin and a number of young employees. Zhu Dao's contribution was almost zero. A close source to Lin was quoted to saying, "Perhaps it was then that Lin had planned to no longer use Zhu Zhao." In an interview published in November 2020, Zhu touted his key role in Yuzu's acquisition of the 3-body copyrights. We legal professionals are here to put out fires, break up the deadlock, and must have the courage to be in charge now, he's quoted as saying. It would later transpire at the time she was already planning an act that would forever change his fate and the fate of Lynn. A month before Lynn's death, the tycoon had an interview that the Three Body Project had potential to be his life's legacy. In a strange way, it is now, and would likely be on his mind when he said goodbye to the world when I am 90 years old. Oh my God. So anyway, I don't know, I think that if I don't, it's hard to believe that one little argument's going to bring this all around, but I do think it had a lot to do with envy, a lot to do with position, a lot to do with you own the company and I have to answer to you, and I don't think that's fair because I think I should be owning the company. So anyway, love you all. I hope you watched the insert I put in for True's Clues, clue number 2. Love you all. Take care. I'll see you on Friday. I'll post my next issue for the last clue of the week.